What's up everybody, welcome back to another very exciting episode of Those Car Dudes. If you haven't figured it out already, it is another episode on the E30 and I'm overjoyed because it's my car and let's be honest, you know, it's great working on other people's cars, it's great working on the Sylvia, which is coming by the way, but when it's your own, it just feels special. It is autumn here in New Zealand now and summer is gone. Goodbye summer, I'm wearing a hoodie, it's getting chilly, it's been raining all morning, but that doesn't stop us from working on cars. However, we have got a whole bunch of content that we filmed over summer and I cannot wait to share it with you guys in this episode and in the next one on my car, the E30. Oh, I'm so excited. So let's just get straight into it. In the last couple of episodes you would have seen that we pulled the rear subframe out of the E30 and the front subframe. So once we pulled those out, we were left with subframes with control arms, sway bars, trailing arms, all the things on them, and those needed to come off. So I went ahead and pulled those off.
This is Earth Radio, and now here's the music.
Once we got the subframes clean of all the bits and pieces that were attached to them, we went ahead and cleaned them. We've got our front subframe, our rear subframe, and our rear trailing arms all stripped down and they are dirty. So what we got is we got some degreaser which we're going to use to spray on them, get them all nice and clean. We're going to use a brush as well, scrub them down and then water blast them after that. Once they're all nice and clean, then we'll be able to strip the paint off them. The reason why I want to do that is because I want to weld in a whole lot of plates to make them stronger, to reinforce them, and then paint them all black again so they look brand new before putting them in the car. So let's get into cleaning. Both subframes and both trailing arms have been water blasted and degreased and scrubbed and they look amazing. Like, they are so clean. They've never been this clean, I guarantee, since the factory, so that is really cool. We're gonna go ahead and apply some paint stripper now, and we're gonna apply that on with a brush, and that's gonna peel off all the old paint so that we can be left with bare metal. I could have just repainted them, you know, I could have just got out the rattle can, painted them, and put new bushings on them and put them back in the car, but I couldn't bring myself to doing that, could I? They had to be new, so I got the paint stripper out and I covered them in paint stripper and I started to scrape all the paint off with a scrapey thingy. That didn't work, did it? I was there for ages and I was like, there's gotta be an easier way. And so I talked to my friend Adam, who is a fabricator, and he said to me, why don't you just get some like rapid strip discs? I'd never heard of the things before. They're basically like strip discs that have like noodles on them. Hang on, I'll get one. Like these things here, they kind of look like noodles. All kind of, yeah, these little bits. Anyway, these things are great. He's recommended getting some of these, chucking on an angle grinder and stripping back all the metal because this takes the paint off the metal but it doesn't damage the metal. The rapid strip wheel is doing an amazing job, as you can see. Look at that. That is just straight metal. It looks amazing. I gave it a go on the other side, just a quick go, and this hasn't had paint strip on it, and it does come off.
but you do have to hold it a bit longer and everything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put paint stripper on the subframes and the trailing arms, and I'm going to leave it and leave the paint stripper to dry off, and then I'm going to come back with the rapid strip disc later and just finish it off and make it all shiny and silver again, and then the reinforcement plates will be ready to weld in. Just finished applying paint stripper to all of the pieces on one side. I'm gonna wait for that to dry and then flip them over and apply it to the other side. And also I'll sand off all of this paint. Look at that, it's all coming up, which is really, really awesome. The paint stripper is working amazingly. And so once that's dry, then I'll go at it with the wheel again, the rapid strip, and get all that paint off, make it all shiny, and it'll be like all metal, just like that over there, yeah. And man, I cannot wait to see this have reinforcement plates everywhere and in my car. I'm so excited.
Once the subframes and the trailing arms have been sanded back to bare metal, I was getting excited because I had got a whole bunch of reinforcement plates and adjustable toe and camber plates for the subframes from Garagistic, and the next stage was welding those in. Now, I needed someone who knew what they were doing to weld those in for me, so in the meantime, I covered the subframes up with some rust neutralizer. Quite a lot of work going into the subframes for this car. I thought, hey, these subframes, they've got like 300,000 Ks plus on them, and they're 30 years old. It's probably good that while they're out, I do something about that and make sure that they are nice and strong for many, many years to come. Plus, they look really cool, right? And let's be honest, that's half of the deal when you're like restoring cars and stuff.
Here is a package which I'm super excited about, all from Garagistic. If you own an E30 or an old school BMW or maybe even a Datsun, they've probably got a few parts that you'll be interested in. So these here are auto adjusted camber and toe, which is very exciting. So on an E30 you can't adjust camber and toe in the rear. So those bolts, those plates, and these little round plates, can't think of the name right now, they are all for that, which is very, very exciting. Some shock mounts, rear shock mounts, plates, reinforcement plates, those will strengthen up those rear shock towers, which are really cool. They're common to crack. We've got a whole lot of bits and pieces in here to strengthen the subframes themselves, and more over here. I've also got an adapter kit because something you guys don't know is I got an E46 steering rack that is going to be going into this car, which I'm super excited about. Yes, it's a purple tag, 3 turns lock to lock, very, very excited. This adapts that, this makes it fit, awesome. And some more plates to reinforce the subframes. They're going to be strong as heck under there, I cannot wait. The E36 is currently in hibernation, so we will be taking my mum's Polo, cross Polo today. Yeah.
Made it to my friend's shop. This is Adam. What's up, man?
Yeah.
And we've got all the pieces laid out to reinforce the subframes. So things for the trailing arms and the rear subframe and the front subframe all laid out, which is really, really cool. So we're gonna get to it. We're gonna start wire wheeling back some of the rust converter that I put on the other day, and yeah, do some welding.
other day I was hanging out with Adam and he was welding all the plates in on my subframes and rear trailing arms. I left him to do his thing, and it's been a couple of weeks and he has returned the goods, and I'm super excited about it. The first piece is this front cross member. As you can see, we got the plates welded in here where the front control arms go, so that's a really quite a weak point, so that makes it a lot stronger there, which is awesome. We got strengthening plates where the sway bars go. We've also got plates here and on the other side, which he had to shape and bend to get it in there, and that's where the engine mounts go. So obviously those need to be really strong because the engine sits there. We've also got on the rear trailing arms on both sides plates welded in here where the sway bars are going to go. It's a nice sturdy point now, which is awesome. And then on the rear subframe, we've had a bit of attention taken here. I've got plates up here and here on either side, which is where the diff goes. So that's a nice strong, those are strong mounting points now for that. We've also got strengthening plates put in to where the rear trailing arm is mounted. That makes it nice, strong, and sturdy as well. And my favorite, and what we're working on right now, is these toe and camber plates. These have been welded in, and I've started to Dremel out the holes so that they're a nice oval, because on your E30, on the rear, you don't have any camber or toe adjustment, but this means with these plates that you do. See the standard holes here, which haven't been Dremeled out yet. It's just a normal hole, but on the other side of it, you've got an oval there. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna continue Dremeling out these holes so that they're a nice oval, so we have the adjustment with our eccentric bolts. And once we're done that, we're gonna give this a nice coat of black paint and then cut out the old bushings. New bushings are gonna go in, and we'll be ready to put these back in the car. I'm super excited, JD.
And then coffee, Nathan.
So many coffees, let's go. We've finished Dremeling out all of the holes in our rear subframe, which is super exciting. So they're all ovals now, and the eccentric bolts can do their job and adjust the camber and the toe. When you're welding these plates in, what you want to remember is that the inner ones are you want your ovals to go up and down when you weld these in, and then your outer ones, just got a bolt through it, you can't see, but you want it to go side to side. And as you can see, when these eccentric bolts are in here, when you rotate them, you'll be able to see the position of the bolt moving forward and back. And this will affect, and for here it'll be up and down, and this will affect your camber and your toe in the rear of your car, so you'll be able to adjust it. Now what we're going to do is we're going to have a pretty good go at pushing these bushings out. I have no idea if we'll be able to do it with just a vise and a hammer, but we're going to give it a go. We just cut the tops off before. Instead of doing the smart thing and sending it off to somebody with a hydraulic press, JD and I, we decided to give it a shot ourselves. And then if we can or we can't do that, it doesn't matter. What we want to do today is we want to paint this. We want to paint the front cross member and the trailing arms, and then we'll be ready for the next step.
Nathan, the E30 is coming together. I'm very excited.
Doesn't look much, but she's getting there. After trying to hit it out, we decided we're going to burn it out because they ain't budging. So we're gonna give this a go and see what happens.
We know that normally we would have to get these bushes pressed out, but because we want to get this painted today, we are gonna try and get them removed the old-fashioned way.
Burn it!
Get it, Nathan.
I think we're almost through, bro.
Get it.
Yes! There it is! Oh my gosh!
Oh, we so should have just taken that to an engineering shop and got that pressed out, but it's Boxing Day and nobody's open. Thank you, JD. Thank you for your hard work. Now we're going to wipe down the subframes. They already got primer on them, but we did get a little bit of dirt and there's a few metal shavings and different things on them from the process so far. So we're going to wipe them down quickly, make sure they're nice and clean, and with a dry rag, and then we're going to paint them. We're going to paint them black with some Subframe black paint. So they're going to look brand spanking new, and it's just going to be shiny and good and wonderful.
Let's do it, Nathan. Subframe black, let's go. Well done. Well done, bro.
I got so nervous.
Yeah, you did really well.
The subframes have been reinforced. It's got adjustable toe and camber plates in the rear now. This car has got new painted reinforced subframes almost ready to go back in the car. I'm absolutely fizzing. Finally, stuff is starting to come together. This car is no longer becoming just a thing that I strip more and more parts off, but parts are actually starting to go back in the car. And I'll let you in a bit of a secret. We've already filmed a whole nother episode, and so once I piece that together, more and more is going to be going back in the car. I'm super excited, so stay tuned for that. But I just want to also do a massive shout out firstly to JD for helping me when he can on this car, which has been awesome. I know he hasn't been able to be here every time, but all the work is appreciated, bro. Shout out to you. Couldn't be here today. That's all good, Shaka, bro. It's actually raining and he's got a soccer game, so sucks for you, bro. I'm gonna try garage. In all seriousness though, shout out to him, shout out to Super Cheap Auto. They've hooked us up with tools and parts and a whole bunch of stuff that you're gonna see in the next episode as well. And we honestly couldn't do what we do as fast as we do without you guys. You guys help us out so much, so we appreciate you. Shout out to Garagistic. You guys hooked us up with a whole bunch of plates, reinforcement plates, just toe and camber plates and any E30 specific stuff. Those are the guys to go to. They have it all, which is very cool. And shout out to Penrite, who've been our loyal sponsors for a very long time, hooking us up with anything from degreaser to oil to coolant. Everything has been awesome. But we appreciate you guys too. We've reached 10,000 subscribers, which is a super exciting achievement, and we couldn't have done it without you guys, obviously, because 10,000 subscribers means 10,000 people. So wow, that's a big number. I'm stoked. Thank you so much, guys. We really appreciate you. Make sure you hit that sub button if you haven't already. Check us out on Instagram, and I'll see you in the next episode on the E30 very soon. Peace out.